Grand Rising loves. Happy Mercury Day. Wednesday is the day ruled by Mercury. The zodiacs that are ruled by Mercury are Virgo and Gemini. So if you're a Virgo or a Gemini, today is your day. But Mercury is the planet of perception. How do you perceive things? And so, just as I had mentioned before, if you know your own birth chart and you know where these planetary placements are on your natal chart, that is literally one of the most powerful life hacks. It really does give you a blueprint and design of what you chose in this human experience, and it helps you move through with less effort, because then you really start to know you. And really, there's this need to understand, but really we can never fathom everything. But to have an idea of how to move or how you chose to move through the human experience helps a whole lot. It helps a whole lot. So, Wednesday, ruled by Mercury. Figure out where it is on your chart, it'll be more helpful. Remember, it's all about perception. And so, the medicine wheel is the sacred geometry that showed up for today. And so in the upright position, the medicine wheel talks about the cohesiveness and how communion happens between all things, that everything is energy and we are all one. We are all relations, those of the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, the human kingdom. And it is all ether, it is all energy. And that means from every direction, every race, everything is one. But the medicine wheel showed up in the reverse today. So the medicine wheel in reverse speaks about your disconnection to all that is, your disconnection to nature, and how important it is for you to get back to that. What are you missing? Are you feeling like you're stagnating? Are you feeling like confused? And so, just like I have raised my kids, if you are ever confused, you are not really being you. And so confusion comes from that disconnection, you being more the ego and the programming than your actual spirit. And so the human body, the earth suit, and the intellect were meant to be tools of the human experience. But unfortunately, the intellect becomes blocked by the ego. And the ego is a straight impediment. Truly, that's all it is. The ego creates the biggest wedge against love that exists. So really feel into that. What are you operating from? From that ego or from your heart, from the spirit? So medicine wheel in reverse is telling you get reconnected. Get reacquainted with all that is, and know that everything that you witness outside of you is you. Everything. Animal, plant, mineral, even that space in between is also you. It's not empty space. Now, completion also showed up in the reverse. Completion, and if you see it's the symbolism of the serpent consuming its own tail, okay? And so whenever you see that, it is the symbol, the universal symbol of completion. And it's complete cycle. And so in the reverse, it talks about holding on to old forms. So basically, like it would be a snake dragging around its old skin. It's saying, let it go. You have to let the old go to create space for the new. And so that's everything: mindset, emotion, relationships, whatever you are moving past, you have to cut the ties with it and let it go when you've reached the lesson. When you get the benefit, don't hold on past the expiration. Don't be dragging around your old skin. It's not necessary. It is also an impediment. So the ego is the impediment to your connection, and the old form is the impediment to your evolution. So be aware of those. Remember, these two cards are always the energy of the day. This is just for today. So the collective consciousness, this is the greatest energy that's happening in the collective. That's why these showed up. So if it resonates with you, it is for you. If it does not, it is not. And so the stone that shows up is always the tool to get past these energies. Now, Numite is one of the oldest stones that exists on Earth. And it talks about the reunion of parts. So what it does, and this is Numite, it's beautiful because it looks like just a dark stone, right? But when you really look at it, it's like a miniature galaxy, and I love it. You can hear Salome. Can you hear him? He is being so noisy. He figured out which room is mine, so he's sitting on the security bars right outside my window. He's waiting very patiently for me. So Numite talks about the reunion of all of your parts, that there is no polarity. The thinking in a polar thinking or a duality is very old paradigm, and it was actually the corruption that was created by the men who wanted to create a larger wedge against the love that we really are. So any hierarchy, any duality thinking, all of that is old paradigm, and it is corruption. It is the corruption to the original system. So reunion in Numite talks about the unity in everything, that there is no good or bad. It just is. That there is no dark or light. It all is part of the one. That we all have every single facet that we believe. Right? It's like a battery, right? It has a negative and a positive charge. It has both. And it's just like that. So just like a quarter has a heads and a tails, the tail is not separate from the head. It's still part of the quarter. It's all that. So Numite brings you back to that reunion, which is nice because the medicine wheel talks about the disconnect. So the Numite will bring you back into the cohesiveness of that. And so this is the culmination of today's spread, the clan of the wolf heart. And as you see the line on the bottom, it says, we are the ones we've been looking for. So this talks about the circling of souls. Now, the circling of souls is what I usually refer to. Once you have that spiritual growth spurt, you shed, because you're vibrating at a different frequency. You shed those old frequencies that fall off. And that's not a quote unquote bad thing, right? That's the duality thinking. That's the programming that you're holding on to. What you are actually doing is creating space for that which is meant for you. And that's the clan of the wolf heart. That's the circling of souls, because those that are actually vibrating at the frequency that you are will gravitate towards you. That's the magnetizing behavior of the universe. Like attracts like. Because we become our greatest selves in company of those like us. So I saw a post today that was talking about, oh, you never grow if you only surround yourself with like-minded people. And I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Because the more you grow, the greater the connection is that they are actually at a level of awareness to show you what you may be missing in yourself. If you are communing with people or staying in expired experiences, that will feel really dense to you. And you are actually harming yourself. Now, it's literally impossible to regress, and I tell people this all the time. You are constantly evolving. But if you stay in expired experiences because ego tells you that it's the right thing to do, you will pay a hefty toll for that. Not only emotionally, spiritually, energetically, the most. Our most valuable commodities are our time and energy. And if you are wasting time with those that are not resonating at your level, it will take you out of alignment. You cannot regress, but it will take you out of alignment. And it's a distraction on your course. So gravitating to those like-minded people, the clan of the wolf heart, actually is what serves you the greatest. Because as your awareness increases and those around you have a very high level of awareness, they can say, this is what you're missing. And then they can help you progress. That's the greatest relationship that exists. That's how we grow, because then it's always this parallel growth. I see you, I am witnessing you. Wow, are you amazing? And then there's also the allowance of letting you be radically who you are, unapologetically who you are, in all of your wildness, in all of your sovereignty. But if you are in experiences with those who are not at the frequency that you are, it's captivity. And it is also for them, because they will feel the call to action because you're vibrating so much higher. They'll actually create an aversion to that. So I call bullshit on that quote that I read today. And I don't even know who it was attributed to, but it came from the Daily Om. And I don't tend to subscribe to to me, that's surface level spirituality. And it's kind of like when you travel somewhere new, right? Do you want to go to the tourist traps? To me, the surface level spirituality is like a tourist trap for people who are awakening. They fall into these surface level spiritual pages and subscribe to these articles, and it doesn't have the depth of that greater frequency. And people can get stuck there. I would encourage you to Google the intermediate zone. This was a letter written by a Swami to a disciple, I believe. And it's very eye-opening. It talks about getting stuck in the intermediate zone, feeling that you've reached a certain level of awareness and power, that you stay there. And what you end up doing is surrounding yourself with people who are not vibrating at your frequency, because it makes you feel more powerful. But then you get stuck. And my purpose and path is to help as many people realize who they are in this life that I can, but also to progress, because I don't plan on coming back. So I'm not getting distracted for anyone. And I'm definitely not interested in swimming the shallows. So that's today's spread. But the clan of the wolf heart not only talks about that circling of souls, but also very much talks about anger, how our anger, our rage can be a sacred gift, because it really amplifies where we need to make changes and grow. Elizabeth, I love you too. And thank you. And so our anger teaches us. So instead of tapping that down and saying, ooh, anger's ugly, don't judge it. Say, why am I so angry? Is it disrespect? Or am I being taken out of alignment? Am I being held captive? What is the basis of this rage? Because rage stored in the body becomes resentment. Resentment festering long enough is what causes cancer. And I spent enough time in medicine to have this validated over and over and over again. So really pay attention to your anger when it is triggered. That this is time to make that change, to express your true intent. Right, okay. So good point, sex, love, and more. Talking about our expression of anger, how we express it. Yes. So it's the response, not the reaction, right? Because reaction comes from ego. Ego always will find the need to defend itself. So when anger is triggered and you're reacting from the ego, it will want to injure. It just wants to take you out of that. Or ego will tell you, ooh, that's ugly, tap it down, tap it down. And then you just hold it inside and you're injuring yourself. But it's still injurious. If you respond from consciousness, if you allow yourself to have the awareness of anger and then have compassion for it and say, wow, okay, this is based in disrespect. This is based in deceit. This is based in, okay, I need to make a change. So what is my intent? To make a change. What is the change that needs to occur? I will no longer be held captive to this type of treatment. I am no longer participating. I think it was Denon, Auntie Thick, she posted a bit ago. I loved what she said, fill in the blank. I am no longer participating in the way that blank loves. Because everything is love. In our truest form, we are pure vibrational love. And so everything is love. Even when someone lies, they are lying because they think holding someone captive will make them lovable. So truly have compassion for them. It's sad, and that's very low frequency. So then step back and say, I am no longer participating in the way that this person loves. Because I am willing to love greater, in a higher integrity, from a place of pure intent. That's how I'm willing to love. And so yeah, circling of souls with those who love the way you do. That's very important. So I say, poo-poo on that other quote. Like, no, you don't need to be swimming the shallows if you're a deep diver. Don't do that to yourself. Deep breath. And that's the spread for today. Thank you for sharing this time and space with me. I appreciate you. I love you. And I am sorry for any disharmony that I myself have created. Please forgive me. Thank you for this opportunity. I love you. I love you. I love you.